Elara knew the glass shard held no real value. It was just a curved piece of scratched lens. All that remained of the cheap telescope she'd used to study the ceiling of the institutional dormitory, trying to block out the city sounds. Outside, the real stars were impossible to see through the light pollution. She traced the scratches, remembering the cold rooftop nights she'd sneaked onto just to feel the vast, silent emptiness above. That small piece of glass was her map, her secret library. At 22, she was the smartest candidate in the elite Skyward Academy application pool, but the weakest on paper. No family name. No sponsors. Just a perfect score on the theoretical exams and a flimsy file marked Institutional Care Sector 7. The lead instructor, Commander Theron, a man whose face was set in granite, slid her file back across the polished table. Your aptitude is unprecedented, Elara. But space requires grounding, teamwork, a reliable history. Elara didn't flinch. Her voice was steady, honed by years of having to prove her right to exist. My history is survival, Commander, and survival demands adaptation. I learned celestial navigation by mapping satellite flares with a broken lens and memory. I don't need the best tech. I prepare for the worst-case scenario, and I excel at worst case. Her ultimate chance came during the final. Grueling simulation, a catastrophic 3-part system failure during a mock orbital insertion. Panic filled the communications channel. The primary and secondary navigation systems blinked red, spitting out conflicting data. The mission was about to abort. Theron's voice cut through the chaos, cold and observing. Candidate Elara, how do you fix this? Instead of looking at the flashing screens, Elara closed her eyes for a brief second. She ignored the digital noise and asked for the raw star tracker data. She recognized the anomaly instantly. A subtle drift in the alignment caused by an overlooked geomagnetic storm model. It was an error only visible to someone who had spent years observing the minute. The imperfect movements of lights in the night sky, someone used to finding the pattern where chaos reigned. Recalibrate Vector Alpha 7 manually, Commander. Use Polaris as the reference anchor. Ignore the sensor drift, it's a phantom reading from the secondary system's thermal buffer overflow. A tense, agonizing silence followed. The clock ticked down. Then the green light confirmed the impossible. Vector Alpha 7 accepted. Stabilization confirmed. Insertion successful. Commander Theron walked into the room moments later, his face finally showing a flicker of emotion. He picked up the scratched glass lens Elara had kept on the console as a talisman. He polished it briefly with his thumb and placed it back in her hand. Welcome aboard, pilot. Years later, high above the curving blue and white marble of Earth, pilot Elara sat alone in the observation module. She wasn't fighting systems now. She was simply watching. In the absolute, unpolluted blackness of orbit, she polished the old glass lens one last time. It caught the reflection of the planet, a tiny blue globe shining in the fragment. She had found her home, not on the ground in Sector 7, but in the infinite silent space she had always reached for. The scratches on the glass didn't matter anymore. She was exactly where she belonged.